friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany, and on this channel we talk about the false beliefs taught to women inside of the church, and we also shine a light on problematic Christian influencers like we are going to do today. So if any of that resonates with you, go ahead and like this video, share with a friend, and be sure to subscribe to my channel and come hang out with me on the things that are called Instagram and TikTok right over here. And also, if you would love to either become a member or a patron, you can click the link in the description box below, and I will also link the video where I explain the incentives of both things, which I'm very excited for, particularly Patreon, because I have fun things planned for that. So today we are finally getting into Brittanydawn's Breaking My Silence, I Was Sued by the State of Texas video. So, a few things before I get started. Please forgive me for the nastiness that I look, and it would make me laugh if some of y'all are like, you don't look any different from your other videos. I have worked all day long. Today's Friday. I've worked all day long, and it is now mother effing summertime in Texas, and it's hot as shit. We've been so good for so long in the month of May, and now June in the middle of it is so hot. So it is hot in the middle of the day, in the morning, all day long. So my office is absolute hell on earth. So I haven't taken a shower yet after work, and I got so grimy and disgusting. But I also knew if I didn't take a shower before and I sat in my balls hot office, I would still be sweating. So we're just gonna take a shower after this video. So if you see beads of sweat rolling down my forehead, I'm doing this for you, you mother. No, I'm just kidding. Before I click play on this video, I'm gonna read you the first few comments because they're wonderful. I have conflicting feels about Brittany. This is not hate, but a genuine question. I never knew her as a fitness influencer, only as a Christian influencer, but when I saw a negative comment on a video and Googled her, I was taken aback. It made me question. I look for her testimony to see her side, which I'm excited to see, but what rubs me wrong is the radio silence, then rebrand and selling another product, the retreats, as a Christian influencer. 100%. This next one says, I can 100% understand that everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has parts of their past they may regret, but what I don't understand is playing the victim when you made a mistake. Honest mistake or not, you are not the victim. And I also can't understand saying, I'm done, I'm moving forward from this point on, and then in the next breath saying, this will be a 6-part series about it. This is just in such a woe is me like feel to it. People are either pro this apology and they're like, oh my god, you make mistakes, Jesus still loves you, or they're just like, no, like this isn't an adequate apology. So I have not seen this yet, and I told y'all I was gonna wait until it came out on YouTube. On her podcast, it's like an hour and a half long, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe she broke the podcast up for the whatever. But any hoodles, this has Brittany and Jordan, her husband, in it, and I'm not entirely sure why he's doing it. She could have done it by herself, but for like support, whatever. Here we go. Never seen it. Please mind my puppy in the background. This is the only time I can do this video, y'all. You get it. We gotta work. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't even know how to start.
Introduce yourself. Is that a side pony?
Yeah.
Okay. Rock it. Just go with it. You can do this.
Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. In full transparency, I just had a breakdown because this is probably the hardest video I'm ever gonna film. I have Jordan here just for moral support. Really no other reason than that, because he's the best husband. So I tried filming this on my own and I was a train wreck, so he's here to help me.
Here I am.
You guys probably know by the title of this video what this is about. I'm here today to give full context. First, to take full responsibility for where I went wrong, for the mistakes that were made, where I messed up, but also to give full context to this lawsuit, how my business started, where things went wrong, and how everything came about and ended in being sued by the state of Texas at 28 years old. Yeah. And I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I'm not promising anything because at the end of the day, I'm human. And this has been the hardest 4.5 years of my life that I have had to keep quiet and live in secret because I was not allowed to speak up. I was not allowed to say anything about this once it was what it was. So, should I start at the beginning? Yeah.
Start at the beginning.
Yeah. So, I'm going to take you guys back to 2012. Before I do that, though, I do want to say that I am so sorry for...
Okay. Me and my husband, I don't want to say baby talk, but with your loved ones, you have just like, you have a silly way of speaking, and me and my husband do it. We don't sound like fucking children, but it sounds different than me like talking to a friend. And it seems like every time she speaks to Jordan, like she just did, and then I was sued by this city. Should I start at the beginning? It's like, you're not this many years old, ma'am. Like, you think I should start at the beginning? Okay, sounds good. Like, you don't have to... Like, Jesus.
Anyone that was genuinely hurt by this, it was never my intention to harm anyone. I started a business when I was young, and it blew up and became something that I never could have seen coming. And because of that, and because of my arrogance and just being dumb, for lack of better words, and not letting my pride get the best of me and being prideful and not asking for help, things happened and things slipped through the cracks. But nothing was ever done maliciously, and everything is done with as of April 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is done with. So that being said, I'm going to take you guys through where everything started.
2012.
Listen, if you've seen some of my Brittanydawn videos before, you'll remember that I used to be a fan of hers. Like, before she was doing the stupid Christian content, before even any of the allegations came out, I watched her bodybuilding videos when I was bodybuilding, and I was a fan of Brittanydawn before she was married to Zach, her first husband. She also was a Christian then, but she wasn't a fundamentalist, like extremist, whatever. And so I was like, oh, this bodybuilding Christian, like, I'm gonna look up to her, like, she's tiny and she went from this to this. Like, of course, when you become some certain age as a woman, sometimes the only thing that you want to be is skinny, right? And I think we all know by now that that should not be your ultimate goal, but it was at that time. And she was the ultimate tiny girl, and so I looked up to her because of that. And she had still a big following on YouTube. So I don't necessarily buy because this is what she said in her apology video, that she had to delete. Not had to, I think she just did right after she posted it. She had said, my business blew up way too quick. I didn't know what I was doing. And she told Good Morning America that nobody wrote like an instruction manual for online training. Like, I was the first of my kind. Like, no, you weren't. You were not the first online personal trainer. Like that, no, you were not. In fact, there's this other YouTuber, I'll plug her, Nikki Blackadder. I don't follow her anymore, but she was also in the same bodybuilding space, and I did before, listen to me, before I was educated, before I went to school for kinesiology, before I received my personal training certification, I did reach out to somebody who was doing online stuff just like she was, but I received everything that I had paid for. Now, it was a lot more money than it should have been, coming from somebody who was not certified in anything, but I digress. So what I'm saying is, she's not the only one who's ever done it, nor used to do it, nor will continue to do it. So that's a load of horse shit. And for her to say, you know, my business blew up more than, okay, I can see kind of both sides. I still think most of it is horseshit, but I can see from both sides, because it did look like she had thousands and thousands of clients. However, she also had thousands of YouTube subscribers. So it would be silly to think, if I had, you know, thousands upon thousands upon thousands, and all I posted about was fitness content, and I'm like, hey, well, not me in particular, because I'm actually knowledgeable about it, but hey, I'm selling this, if you want in, like, you know, here's a link for it, blah, blah, blah. Like, it would be silly for me to think that a lot of people wouldn't do it. I guess what I'm saying is it's dumb to think, well, she just said she was dumb, but it's dumb to think that her business would not blow up like it did if she had that many subscribers. Is that making sense? Like, I don't think that's it. I think it's more of like, my business just got way too big. My business just got way too big for me to handle.
You can do it.
Yeah. So 2012.
How'd you start?
I was in college, and I remember just not having any confidence, being super insecure. I had low self-esteem, and seeing all the girls on campus that were so bubbly and outgoing and just confident in their skin. And I wanted that, and I had been an athlete my whole life. But I never had that, because I was never focused on like aesthetics. I was focused on being quick, being strong, being powerful, but never like the physical appearance. And so I went on this journey in college after hitting a somewhat rock bottom, and ended up losing weight, had a drastic transformation, which I will put here on the screen so you guys can understand what that was for context. Really didn't even look like my before picture, anything. Like, I looked like two different people, and that was also kind of when Instagram started. So I remember I had shared these photos on my Instagram.
And to note, I think it's funny how she talks about, you know, purity all the time, and talks about how she doesn't even know that person anymore. Like what you just saw, the person on the right, I just don't know that person anymore. I can't relate to that person, blah, blah, blah. Yet she still posts a lot of pictures about her in the past, which I can understand, like, if you have your testimony, or if you're like, yeah, you know, I was going through a rough time, I don't even know that person, blah, blah, blah. But she, for the amount of time she says purity, you know, modest clothing, she still shares a lot of those pictures. Just a observation.
To be an inspiration, literally nothing more than that. I never had the intention of starting a business. I never knew that a business could even come of that. Like, that was literally when Instagram first became a thing. And I just remember some of my posts going viral back then, and girls were asking like, hey, we have similar body types, how did you get there, what did you do, like, I would love to reach this point. And so I just started sharing my journey. At this point, I'd been a personal trainer for quite some time. I was blessed to be under the umbrella of these personal trainers and this gym management, and they were just incredible, and I learned so much and was just so hungry to learn about all the things with anatomy and physiology. And this is where I get flustered.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
How did it turn into a business?
Yeah, I mean, I was so passionate about all of it. I was passionate about seeing women reach their goals and feel confident in their own skin, and everything I had felt, I wanted other women to feel that too. And so I loved my clients. I still have connections to clients to this day. 2013, I was at home in my apartment. So I got this idea to start a website, not knowing what would come of it. In that, I made a website, and I never could have seen what was coming. My business took off. I feel frazzled again.
Okay. What kind of growth did you see?
Yeah, I mean, it became a 6-figure business within the first year. Within 7 years, it surpassed, you know, well over $1 million in revenue. And I think it's that saying, you know, where sometimes your reality grows faster than your perception of yourself. And
this is the same business that allegedly, according to legal documents, however, allegedly has missing payment information, and she's going on a public platform and saying her business made well over $1 million. If she filed her taxes correctly, for sure, like, talk about it 100%. But if she didn't file her taxes, she's telling, like, waving a fucking red flag, like, hey, IRS, choose me to audit. Not a good idea.
That was genuinely what happened to me. I was young. I was a pre-vet student, like, animal science degree. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know anything about owning a business. Like, I never had an intention to run a business or own a business. I never could have seen that coming. And it just happened so fast. I remember it felt like a blur. And I was 23. Yeah, I was 23 in 2013. So I was a baby, just trying to manage and learn. And sorry, I'm fidgeting, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm a mess. My business grew so fast. I was young, I was dumb, I was naive. I had no idea how to manage this business that was now being placed in my hands. And because of that, I didn't ask for help. I didn't know that I could ask for help. I was prideful in a sense of, well, if it needs to be done, I'll just do it myself. I just wanted it done the right way. And I didn't realize at such a young age that you can entrust those tasks to other people. I didn't realize that I could ask for help. I didn't realize that I could hire on a team. I didn't realize that those things were part of growth in a business, and I do now. It's a very hard lesson to learn. So 2019 was the moment that everything...
Why isn't she talking about her starting a YouTube channel? She didn't just start on Instagram. She's posting YouTube videos this whole entire time. Why didn't she say anything about YouTube gaining hundreds of thousands of subscribers and then doing a website? She missed a very, very important aspect of her quick growth. I wonder if she realizes that it sounds silly and it sounds better to say, oh, I just posted something on Instagram and then I made a website and then it blew up. No. You made a post on Instagram, made fitness your personality, and started a YouTube channel and started weekly, maybe daily sometimes, posting workout videos, what I eat in a day videos, low calorie Starbucks videos. She had hundreds of thousands of followers before, in my recollection, from what I know, before she even decided to sell fitness plans, to sell customized anything. She's missing YouTube. Why? Because I watched her in 2014, 2015, because my bodybuilding competition was 15, I think. So she was already hundreds of thousands of followers into YouTube when I was watching her when I was bodybuilding. So she's missing a big chunk of information she's not even talking about. And I'm curious, because this is a tell-all thing. Like, how'd you end up on YouTube, ma'am?
Came to a head for me.
The prank video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Would you like me to talk about it?
I can do it.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
So in 2019, there was a prank video that was put on YouTube by someone with a platform, a pretty large platform, and that person portrayed themselves as a father of a client of Brittany's. They flew out to LA, where she was the face of a booth for the LA Fit Expo, and that person approached her and caught her off guard and accused her of scamming his daughter.
So, the expo, when this prank happened, first of all, I was completely caught off guard. My dad has always taught me that if you don't know what to say in the heat of a moment, it's better to not say anything than to say something you'll regret. And now looking back, that's biblical. I wasn't living for Christ then, and that's my testimony, and that's going to be the last video in this series. But it is biblical to hold your tongue if you don't know what to say in the moment. And so that's what I did. And of course that came off as she's being silent because she's guilty, and the internet just completely manipulated that entire situation. He was very abrasive. I mean, he humiliated me. We will leave his name unmentioned because, truth be told, he doesn't deserve any more notoriety than he's already gotten by just having my name in the title of his video. Yeah. So I got back home.
I've seen that video numerous times. And unless they made a little clip of the interaction, he wasn't abrasive. He went up to the booth and said, "Hey, are you Brittany?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's me." And he was like, "Well," he said something to the effect of, "Well, I think you've been scamming my daughter out of her workout plan," something like that. And she looks at him and she was like a really panicked look. And then whoever was the head of that booth at the expo, she touched his shoulder, and then she went behind him, and he was like, "Oh, sir, is there a problem?" And then the video cuts off. It's not that abrasive.
Home from California, and pretty soon after, the next week, that video went live.
I think that the main thing that the video did that was unfair in this situation is the video perpetuated a false narrative that Brittany was a scammer, and that she was a fraud and defrauded people intentionally.
Yeah.
The one thing that I know that I can speak on probably better than Brittany can, is that this situation was investigated by the state of Texas. There was never any proof that she intentionally defrauded someone or scammed them. This was a simple situation of a business outgrowing its capabilities.
Yeah. Well, and me again, I messed up. I didn't hire on people. I didn't hire on help. I didn't ask for help. If I could go back and fix it, I absolutely would, because it was never my intention to hurt anyone. I wanted to help women, and I did help women. I had over 5,000 clients, over 50, was it 5,500? Something like that. Yep. Over 5,500 clients that I helped, and I loved helping them. I actually had one the other day reach out to me, and she was like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me." And I was like, "I do remember you. I do." That I've helped. And so it was never my intention, because where there were hundreds that didn't get what they paid for, there were thousands that did, and they loved the program. And again, it was never my intention to hurt anyone, and I'm so sorry if I did hurt you. Were mistakes made? Yes, absolutely. Like I said,
I have questions. Jordan just said the state of Texas didn't prove that she legitimately scammed people, but all of the court documents that we've read through on here, on this channel, we've literally gone through the testimonies against Brittany from her clients saying, "Hey," like literal emails saying, "Hey, I paid for this, you did not give me that, I want my money back." And her deleting comments and blocking people when they've come out and said, hey, Brittany didn't give me my money back, and or she didn't give me the program that I paid for, and I tried to talk to her about it, but she won't message me back, and now she's blocked me. So what was that about? Because that's not over business growth. That's not business growth gone bad. That's simply, okay, you're bothering me. I cannot focus on you right now. I'm just going to block you and sweep it under the rug. If I can't see it, it's not there. Like, it's not just about business growth gone wrong. Like, there were a lot of wrong ethics in doing this, and that even like in unintentionally or intentionally, like, you ended up scamming people. Like, at the end of the day, I don't know if I still have to say like allegedly or whatever, but allegedly you still kept scamming people even if you weren't intentional about it. You know what I mean? So I want to kind of compare it to manipulation, because you can intentionally manipulate somebody, and you can also unintentionally manipulate somebody if you've been around that type of behavior and you think that is normal. Not saying that she was around like scammy behavior and she thought it was normal, but now that I say it out loud, she was a part of the fitness community, the YouTube fitness community. She was at the LA Fit Expo. Like, she was around a lot of big name fitness celebrity YouTube people, so she might have thought that was the thing. But them saying that they didn't prove that she scammed people, like, what are the thousands of women who made a Facebook group about getting the same exact workouts when they were supposed to be customized? That's scammy. You don't do that.
And I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but I took on too much. I mean, I was drowning. I get emotional when I think about where I was and how I had no social life because I worked sun up to sundown pretty much every single day. Yeah, so mistakes were made because of that. I was burning rubber. I was burnt out. I wasn't asking for help. I wasn't hiring help, and I very well could have because I had the income to do so. And when everything happened in 2019, there's so much that people didn't see that I couldn't talk about. I was scrambling behind the scenes to refund women that didn't get what they paid for. Even people who, I don't even know how to say this, like, there were people who were photoshopping receipts who were never paid clients of mine, who saw the viral video and then Good Morning America, that never knew who I was previous to all this media and all the spotlight attention. And suddenly they were photoshopping receipts, and I was refunding them because I believed them, because they were...
Well, that's how in over your head you were, was that the business was growing so fast and there were so many clients coming on board that she could.
Number one, yeah, that sucks. Like, don't do that. That's scammy in itself. But number two, then what you do is you cut off the people who are trying to work with you. In my opinion, it is all coming down to, she really liked that income coming in. She really liked that money coming in, because if you are taking on too many clients, you literally, and she's living proof of it, you cannot ethically, physically, mentally give clients what you've promised them. So what she should have done is cut it off. And I don't understand, being 23 or fucking 33 or 43, Google was a thing then. How are millennial entrepreneurs making it? How did they start making it? They Googled the shit out of everything. When I had a podcast, I Googled how in the world to start a podcast, what website I needed to go through, how I even started YouTube. Oh my God, the things that I put into Google. You should see my setup. It is nuts, but it's working. So for her to continue to say, my business just grew so fast, I didn't know what to do. Girl, do you lack initiative? Do you lack that thing in your brain that says, oh my God, I'm so over my head, I need to Google how to run a business. How do I run a business? And I can guarantee that one of the first things on how to run a business is to delegate things as a business owner so you do not get overwhelmed, so you can give your clients exactly what they're paying for. And I'm still so confused as to why her starting a YouTube channel hasn't even come up yet, because that was her biggest, in my recollection, that was her biggest clientele. It's how I started following her.
With
I didn't have systems, and I should have. Yeah.
The part that I'll never be able to get behind or agree with was with the media coverage and with videos going viral about you. There were customers from the early days, 2012, 2013, 2014, that when all of this happened in 2019, came back after the fact and said, hey, I want a refund too.
Yeah. When we had proof that, I
Like-
had proof that they, not only did they get their program, but they loved their program. I had emails to prove that. I had all the email correspondence that they could have wanted, and they got results. So it was truly a bandwagon mentality. And then when I said no and I put my foot down, they got ugly. And I mean, some of these things that were said to me in emails, like, I can never unsee those words. I can never forget that. It was a bandwagon mentality.
Well, and it was the early days.
You can't get over seeing words in an email. Ma'am. Come on. Like, get some thicker skin. You're fine.
Days of what we all now know and despise, which is another video
Cancel
that you're
culture.
going to talk about, but cancel culture. And it's this bandwagon mentality of, well, if these people did it, I'm going to hop on that. And as a business owner, it makes complete sense to me, and it makes complete sense to a lot of people who were involved in this. You can only do so much.
Yeah.
When you start getting inundated with refund requests, you do your best to keep up with that.
You just try not to drown. That's the thing, is like, it's different because it's not a physical product. Like, all of my products were digital, and well, things were mailed out, like t-shirts and merch and stuff.
They were digital, but you still charged shipping and handling, didn't you? Yeah, Freya hates that too.
But like, the actual plans were never mailed out. And so, yeah, it was just a really...
As a business owner, how do you get your product back?
You can't when it's the digital goods.
You can't.
And so, yeah, that's a whole thing. We really went into depth about that on the podcast episode, which I'll link below. It's very in-depth compared to this video. One thing I forgot to mention was when this video went live, because this kind of like leads into the lawsuit being opened up. When that video went live, the prank video, I don't know if he did, someone started a petition called Stop Brittanydawn Fitness Scams. And to give you guys context as to the cancel culture mentality, the bandwagon mentality behind this, 15,950 people signed that petition. That was like as of last week. I checked.
Wait, it's still going?
Apparently. I know, it's ridiculous. I had a little over 5,000 clients. So that is 2/3 of people who never worked with me, who probably didn't even know who I was before this. And that is why, ultimately, the state of Texas opened up a lawsuit.
In 2019, when this occurred, the state of Texas received complaints. They opened up an investigation. The state of Texas has the ability to bring criminal charges against someone should their actions warrant criminal charges.
Yeah.
It was determined early on that none of this was done maliciously. Mm-hmm. So the folks out there that think that Brittany's going to jail, last time I checked, you can't settle a criminal charge outside of court.
No.
When you're charged with a crime, you go before a jury. You are either found guilty or not guilty of a criminal charge that then imposes a sentence. That can be decided by the jury. That can be decided by the judge at any point from 2019. This was never a criminal case. This was always a civil penalty about the business and the way her business was run and the mistakes that were made.
There was an actual...
Should it have been determined that this was maliciously done and with criminal intent, they would have charged her with a criminal charge. That was never done.
So anyways, that opened up the state of Texas suing me at 28 years old. What a wild ride it's been since then. 4.5 years. It's finally over with as of April 25th. So a little over a month ago. Yeah. So after a 9-hour mediation, we came to a settlement agreement of $531,000. Is there any change in there? Any pennies that I missed?
There is. The important part of the settlement is that the $131,000 and some change is attorney's fees for the state of Texas Attorney General's office.
Yeah.
$400,000 of that is what we owe and what we are going to pay back. $100,000 of that is restitution for the clients that didn't receive their packages, and $300,000 of that is what are called civil penalties, which are basically, that's the penalty for not doing things correctly.
Yeah, that's the AKA the hard lesson learned.
The hard lesson learned. Yeah. So $100,000 of that will go back to clients who didn't receive a program over the course of time.
Yeah.
So that's the breakdown of the settlement.
Yeah. I want to wrap this up by saying that...
Can I add something for you?
Yeah.
So one of the really difficult challenges throughout all of this has been Brittany's inability to speak on this because of being involved in litigation. There has been absolutely just ridiculous false narrative spread about her lack of cooperation with the state of Texas, and just failure to produce documents and all of this stuff. And none of that could be further from the truth. We submitted over 60,000 business records, even at one point offered the state electronic devices that had all of the documents on them. There was full cooperation.
Yeah.
So there's some folks out there would like to watch a court proceeding and try to interpret legal jargon that's discussed by two attorneys on opposing sides and try to make a determination of what was said and what is happening, and thus put forth a false narrative of that's not even close to what was occurring.
Yeah.
To even to the point of media.
Oh my God. If he smacks his freaking lips one more time, I'm gonna jump off something. Like, Jesus, stop doing that. Okay. I love that he says, oh, these people who want to watch a court proceeding and listen to jargon. They literally said, like, the attorney or whatever his name was of Texas literally said, we've given them so many days and we still don't have these documents. He literally said that. So it's not just us trying to figure out the legal jargon. Sure, I'm not a lawyer. Some of it is super confusing. But that court proceeding particularly wasn't too hard to figure out, Jordan. And just because you use the word thus doesn't mean that you are superior. Like, we're not stupid. We can figure it out, even though we didn't go to law school, sir. Don't use the word thus. It seems silly, and it doesn't make you look smarter, Jordan.
Our attorney had a great working relationship with the state of Texas Attorney General's office. We very cordially came to an agreement around this settlement, and it should be noted that our full intention is to pay back all $400,000. I think that I'm really proud of you, and I think that this video is really important. And the subsequent videos will address other things that are completely unacceptable that have happened since 2019.
I can confidently sit here today and say that I've learned from this hard lesson. I've learned from my mistakes. I've learned from my errors. I don't know what the future looks like, but I know that from this moment forward, this is in the past. And Jordan just kind of shared a little bit about what the upcoming videos are going to be about. I don't say it lightly when I say that The last 4.5 years of my life have been a living hell, and it's time for it to be brought to the light. There have just been some awful things that have been done to us that have all stemmed from hate threads, from people that just don't like us for whatever reason, and that does not deserve a place in this video. But what I can say is that I'm sorry. I've learned from...
Why do you question, well, people, I don't know, people like us? You literally said that when you met Jordan, you said, don't Google my name. And then he said, okay, don't Google my name. What makes you think people aren't, like, what makes you think that people all around are gonna like you and should like you? There are gonna be people who don't like you no matter what. If you're seen by the state of Texas, you're the greatest person on the earth, you're not gonna be liked. And heard it, well, people don't like us for some reason. Well, you gotta admit, you both have reasonable reasons as to why people wouldn't like you. Don't be so surprised.
My mistakes, but from this moment forward, I'm moving on. This is in my past. I have every right to move on. It's been almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in January next year. I didn't scam anyone. I didn't fraud anyone. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a fraud. I'm not a grifter. And I'm done tolerating being called that by people online, by news headlines, by articles, by other YouTubers, by other people on TikTok who are really just ultimately chasing this story for clout, because at this point it's become a clickbait title. I'm so proud of the woman.
My question is, what are you gonna do? If you're so tired of it, yeah, bring your feelings to light. And it's so silly how she says, and somebody commented this, is she said, this is in the past, it is behind me, yet I'm gonna do like 5 other videos about it. Like, choose a lane. But yeah, it's her story. Go ahead, freaking talk about it all you want. But I mean, she is now making it her personality, and she's monetizing it now. So she's making reels about being sued by the state of Texas, and she wants to talk about other YouTubers using her as clickbait. She's using her lawsuit as clickbait, like she did allegedly to the kids that she was fostering. And yet again, if she's getting all of these, death threats and people outside of her house, like we've talked about before, and she's been living in a, if she's been in a living hell the last 4 years, then why in the actual hell would you want to bring either your own child into that or somebody else's child into the home of chaos and hell? Like, that's not a good idea at all, in my opinion. It's not. And my question is, and I'm not saying this as like, what are you gonna do about it? I'm not saying it like that. I'm legitimately asking, what are you gonna do about it if news articles, headlines, news, other YouTubers keep talking about you? Like, legitimately, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna try to sue other people? Are you gonna sue people for defamation, slander, or libel? Like, what are you gonna do, ma'am? Because you have to pay the state of Texas $400,000 already. I don't think you want to be in another legal... Just let people do... Just let them go. Like, if you are so... I don't have to care about what other people think. I am allowed to carry on with my life. Then do that. Like, carry on with your life, but you can't hold on to what other people say about your past. If you're literally carrying on with your life, then you would not bring to light bad things that happened, or bring to light or expose people for saying shit about you. You would then say, okay, they're saying shit, like, I'm carrying on with my life, like, they don't mean anything to me. It tells me that she very much cares about all of these things. Which, sure, like, her integrity is in question, like it always has been. But with all of these videos that come out, her integrity is very much questioned even so, and it makes other people look at those videos and look at the comments and be like, oh my god, should I follow Brittany? Like the first comment that we saw on her video. So at the end of the day, what is she gonna do when we're still speaking about her? And it's not over silly things, right? It's about her being sued by the state of Texas and all of the foster mom, in my opinion, monetizing the children that are in her home, and just the really, really, in my opinion, unethical things that Brittany does. What is she going to do about it if and when people keep talking about her? Because they will. Because I will. If she continues unethical behavior, in my opinion, then I will very much still speak on it. All she's going to have is potential hurt feelings, and that's it.
And that I am today. I'm so proud of how I've handled myself, how I've carried myself with such grace through this fire. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud of myself for the growth that I've encountered. I have faced some hard things at 32 years old. I would not be where I am. I wouldn't have made it through the fire without smelling like smoke if it wasn't for my relationship with the Lord. I'm unashamed to say that, because the only reason I've made it to this point is because of Jesus. He has carried me. He has sustained me. He has given me the courage and the tenacity to get through this. Mistakes were made. I'm genuinely sorry. And I'm moving on. And I have every right to move on at this point in my life. Yeah, so that is that. Our camera's about to die, actually. So that is the end of this. This will be a 5.
She's been saying that since 2015. Oh my god, my camera is gonna die. Oh my god, my camera. You would think after being on YouTube for so many years that you'd get the camera situation figured out.
Part series, possibly 6 parts in case this video becomes 2 videos. This is the beginning of some pretty intense conversations that I am ready to have, as hard as they are. So, okay, well, we'll see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.
Dude, fucking bring it. I'm excited to listen to her deep conversations. I'm confused as to why the podcast episode is an hour and a half-ish, I think, and this YouTube video is only 23 minutes, so I wonder if she talked more about something, whatever. The smartest thing to do would have been to film yourself while recording the podcast episode, so you wouldn't have to do it more than what, but whatever. What do I know? I don't use the word thus. I'm stupid. I'm a stupid woman. Anyway. So, let me know what y'all think about this, and definitely let me know if you want me to react to the rest of her stupid series of the hard conversations of whatever she's going to talk about. I appreciate you so very much. Go check out the Patreon in the description box below. And a couple things. Go move your body. Go eat something green and go touch grass. Always remember you're a powerful motherfucking woman, and I appreciate you so very much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!